Okay, this is going to be a video lesson on Unit 4, Day 2. We're going to talk about evaluating functions, also plotting graph using a table. Okay, so when you see a function, f of x equals 9x minus 7, and they say f of 5, here's what this means. This means put all, for all x, okay, for all x, put this number. Now, you'll eventually learn that f of x is just a fancy symbol for y, so we're actually not talking about that. What I'm talking about is here. So every spot there's an x, I put a 5 with parentheses, and then I calculate. Okay, 9 parentheses 5 minus 4. And that result is 41. And that's my answer. Okay? So f of negative 3, I put negative 3 in for x. Okay? 9 times negative 3 minus 4. That's negative 31. Okay? 9 times 6 minus 4. So every spot where there's an x, I put that. That's going to be 50. Okay. Now, what happens when you see two x's? Well, that means just two things. Now, when I have a square, we talked about this back when evaluating. I want to put the squared outside of the parentheses. So negative 4, negative 4. Okay? So what I would want to do when I would calculate that, okay? When that does that, okay? So what I want to do there, very simply, is parentheses negative 4. Right? You can use this little squared here, plus 5 parentheses negative 4. And that actually gives me negative 4 of all things. Okay? That's actually the answer. So when it's 7, parentheses 7 squared plus 5 times 7. Okay? So parentheses 7 squared plus 5 parentheses 7. That is 84. Okay? For negative 8, parentheses squared, 5 parentheses, I put in negative 8. Parentheses negative 8 squared plus 5 parentheses negative 8. That's 24. Okay? All right, so every spot there's an x, you put that number with the parentheses and calculate it. Okay? So go to Go Formative. There's a couple to do in there. All right, now, this is a very similar concept. It says, what are the y values when f of x equals this, and these are your x values. So here's what this means. They want you to find f of negative 8, they want you to find f of negative 3, and they want you to find f of 5. So basically the same thing we've done, just basically a little bit different from that standpoint. So for this, I would do 3 parentheses negative 8 minus 12. Okay, that is negative 36. Then I would do 3 parentheses negative 3 minus 12. That is negative 21. And then I do 3 parentheses 5 minus 12. That is 3. Okay? So what I got there for an answer, you could put it in as negative 36, negative 21, 3. You could also do it like this. Okay? All right? So it says, what are the x values when this, so what they want us to find is f of negative 11, f of negative 4, okay, f of 0, and f of 17. Now, when you're dealing with this negative, put that little negative symbol. Then put negative 11, and then a plus and 18. Okay? So what I want to do is I want to put a negative, then the parentheses, negative 11, okay, plus 18. Okay? All right, that gives me 29 for an answer. Okay? All right, so negative, negative 4 plus 18. Okay, negative, parentheses, negative 4, plus 18. Gives me 22. Okay, f of 0, so that would be negative with the 0 plus 18. Okay, negative with the 0 plus 18, which is just 18. And then f of 17 is negative with the 17 plus 18. Okay, negative, parentheses, 17 plus 18. That's 1. So my answer there was 29, 22, 18, and 1. Okay? That would be my answer. Okay? And now you can go to Go Formative and go ahead and practice a few of those. Okay? Now let's talk about the table. This is a very similar concept. It says fill in the following table and graph the function. Okay, so all we're going to do, this is the idea. X is negative 2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to calculate and put negative 2 in for X and do a calculation. Okay, 5 times negative 2 minus 1 gives me negative 11. Then I do the same thing. I take negative 1 and put that in there and do a calculation. 5 times negative 1 minus 1 is negative 6. And I put 0 in there. Okay, 5, parentheses 0 minus 1, negative 1. Then I put 1 in there. Okay, 5 times 1 minus 1 is 4. And then I put 2 in there. All right, 5 times 2 minus 1. Whoops. 5 times 2 minus 1 is 9. Okay? All right, so that's how I make my table. Then I just plot these points. Negative 2 over, negative 11 down. Negative 1 over, negative 6 down. 0 over, negative 1 down. 1 over, 4 up. 2 over, 9 up. Okay, so remember, first one is left or right. Next one is down or up. Okay, obviously negative, positive. Okay, negative, positive. Okay, all right, and if I connect those dots, I'm going to get a line. And that's where we're going to start to move to with our functions. Okay, so I'm going to go over 2 more. Okay, with you. All right. All right, negative x minus 4. So what I would do is negative 2 minus 4. Then I'm going to do negative 1 minus 4. Then I'm going to do negative 0 minus 4. Then I'm going to do negative with a 1 minus 4. And then I'm going to do a negative with a 2 minus 4. I'm going to go ahead and calculate those numbers. Okay? Use your parentheses. Negative with a negative 2 minus 4 gives me negative 2. Okay? Negative, parentheses with a negative 1 minus 4 gives me negative 3. A negative with a parentheses 0 minus 4 gives me negative 4. A negative with a 1 minus 4 gives me negative 5. A negative with the parentheses with 2 with a minus 4 gives me negative 6. Okay, so what does this mean? Left 2, down 2. Left 1, down 3. 0, don't go anywhere, down 4. 1 right, 5 down. 2 right, negative 6 down. Okay, and that's my point. Okay, let's do one more. Okay, so what am I going to do with this? Negative 2, parentheses, negative 2 plus 6. Then I'm going to put negative 2, parentheses, negative 1 plus 6. I'm going to do negative 2 times 0 plus 6. Okay, negative 2, 1 plus 6. And then negative 2, 2 plus 6. So all we're doing is just evaluating. Very simple calculations. Okay, negative 2, parentheses, negative 2 plus 6. That's going to be 10. Okay, negative 1. Parentheses, whoops, I'm sorry, that's not correct. Negative 2, parentheses, negative 1 plus 6, which is 8. Negative 2, parentheses 0, plus 6, 6, negative 2, 1, plus 6, that's 4, and then negative 2 with a 2 plus 6, it gives me 2, okay? So this is left 2, up 10, this is left 1, up 8, this is go nowhere, up 6, this is go 1, up 4, and this is go 2, up 2. If you connect the dots, you get a straight line, okay? So you can go ahead and practice those and go formative.